Welcome to Seattle College's international programs and our show Conversations With, where we talk to people that help you understand how you too can be an international student in the United States and why Seattle Colleges should be your first choice. We'll talk to students and staff and agents and government folks, all kinds of people about what you can expect when you're getting ready to apply or travel here, what you'll experience while you're with us, and how it can all lead to an amazing life. Don't forget to check out the Seattle College's International Programs website at intl.seattlecolleges.edu, where you can find a treasure trove of information about the school, the programs here, and best of all, fill out and submit your application. Again, that's intl.seattlecolleges.edu. Hey everybody, welcome back to Season 3. We're here at Seattle Central College. I'm excited today because this is our first interview with a drama major. And I don't know if you noticed, but I am kind of into that thing still. So kindred spirit here. Tell everybody who you are, how long you've been here, and tell them what the actual name of your major is.
Okay. Hi, my name is Vrinda. I have been here for 2 quarters. And I'm a drama major. So I'm doing like a prerequisite study in drama.
Wow. 2 quarters, that's it?
That's it.
Seems like you've been here a lot longer. Seems like you've just been here forever.
Feels like it.
Yeah. So 2 quarters. Where were you before?
I was in India. I was in Pune. And I was studying at Fergusson College.
Gotcha.
And I was doing my majors in philosophy.
Really? That seems kind of different.
I know.
Yeah. So the switch. Okay, but yeah, she is from India, so that's good to know. And you said which city?
Pune.
Pune.
Yes.
So shout out to Pune out there, everybody. Big country. So you started university in India, and you were studying philosophy. Steve Martin, famously philosophy major. I don't know if you knew that or not. Then he became big, actor, comedian, whatever. So why did you start with philosophy? Why didn't you just start with drama?
So honestly, in India, there aren't any drama institutions. So the only drama that there is in India is like film acting.
Oh.
And that is obviously very different from like stage acting.
Sure.
So like throughout childhood, I've always been very inclined towards performing arts. But then there was no good channel for me except for like dance. So I started dancing at the age of 4.
Wow.
And I started with Bollywood and contemporary. And then
Bollywood dancing?
Yeah.
So you take a class called Bollywood dancing?
Well, it was like a freestyle class and she just taught everything.
That's so cool. You should do a Bollywood class here.
It would be fun.
It would be super fun.
It would.
I'd be terrible, I'm sure.
I'd like to see that though.
Ding, ding, ding. Wow.
But I started with that, and then when I was 16, I decided to do ballet because I've always wanted to go on point.
Oh, yeah.
And then I forced my mom to take me to a class, and then I started doing ballet. And then when it came to, so in India, it's like 11th and 12th grade is considered as college. So it's called junior college.
Right.
And then I was in a state board for junior college, and then I wanted to do something related to art. And then they were like, how about psychology? And I was always interested in psychology. But the problem is that in India, the seats for psychology are very limited. So especially like in Pune, it's like a big hype right now. And I had scored, I think, close to 98%. And then they were like, oh, no, we need like 98.5. And I was like, well, okay, so now what do I do? And then they were like, oh, no, so you can be another major if you want. And I was like, okay. And then I was interested in philosophy. So I was like, okay, let me give that a shot. And then I started doing philosophy in my second year of college. And it was quite nice. It was very interesting, and it was very different from any of the subjects I've had. And but what I liked about philosophy was the fact there were a lot of stories, like mythological stories, and I had heard about them in childhood. And it was like everything was coming back, so I was really into it. And also my mom wanted me to get a degree. And when I said philosophy, she's like, yes, go for it right now.
Most parents would not say that. You're going to be an engineer or you're going to be a doctor.
Oh, no. My mom is very spiritual.
Oh, cool.
So she just wanted me to do philosophy. She's like, if not psychology, please do philosophy because I want you to be more spiritual and religious in life.
Wow.
So I was like, okay.
Gotta meet your mom. That's pretty cool.
And she was actually a chemistry major.
Oh.
So I kind of gave her a little bit of a heart attack when I told her that I was dropping science in 8th grade. So she was not happy with that decision. So I didn't have science or maths at all.
Wow.
And then when I took philosophy, she's like, okay, I'm getting something I want, so I'll let you do what you want. So it was kind of like a little deal between the two of us. Sure. And that's the reason I'm allowed to be here right now.
Gotcha. Well, you got here, though, so let's talk about that. You were taking those... so when you applied here, were you actually applying as a transfer student? Like, did you apply to Seattle colleges? Well, let's go back, actually. Was Seattle Colleges the only place you applied, or did you apply to other schools?
I applied to other schools. So I was looking into New York and then Seattle.
Oh, makes sense.
So I was like, okay, let me see where the theater community is really good. And the best results came up for New York and Seattle. And I was like, okay. And I wanted something a little quiet because I'm not much of a fast city girl. I wanted something where people are nice and not so rude to me all the time. So I was like, okay, Seattle seems like a good idea. And we had a close family friend who was also in Seattle. So then I spoke to her and she was like, oh no, people here are amazing. The programs here are really good. And Cornish College of the Arts, that was one of my top colleges on the list. But again, there I wanted to go for the dance program and not the drama program. Because I've had I think 16, 17 years of dance experience. So I was like, might as well put that to use.
Right.
And I applied to Cornish, and I was actually going through an agent here, and that's where the problem was. So I gave...
What kind of an agent?
The agent that communicates with you in the college and applies
an educational
for you,
agent.
like an educational.
Because I was thinking show business agent.
Oh, no.
Okay. Educational agent. Okay.
Yeah, and the problem was that I gave them all my documents. So let's say I would give the documents to them on day 1. They would submit it on day 7. And then the college would give a response, and I would get that response from the college on day 14. So it was like they were really slow with it.
Right.
So by the time I actually got a response saying that they wanted a clear video of a certain part of the dance, it was too late because the applications had shut. And I was like, okay, so now what am I going to do? And I was like, I'm just going to take this into my own hands. And then I decided to look into more colleges. And I looked into the drama program here. Basically, I researched my current teacher, Shelley. And I went into, I Googled her, and then I found out that she performed at the Seattle Rep. And she'd done, a lot of performances. And I found out about Daryl. And I was like, okay, I'm going to know more about this program, know what this college has to offer. And then I was really happy with what I found because I was like, the program seems really interesting. It is shorter than what I was expecting because it's just like a 1-year program.
Okay.
But I was still quite happy because the faculty is amazing.
Well, so you've mentioned 2 of the instructors.
Yeah.
What makes them so, she was at Seattle Rep, you said, but what else is in their resume that makes them so amazing?
Well, when it comes to Daryl, I couldn't do much research because he wasn't anywhere.
Okay.
But then Shelley, she was on Seattle Rep's page and she was almost everywhere. And then even the teacher reviews, there's a site that has reviews of the teachers and everyone's like, oh my God, this was the best class I ever took and I'm so happy with this. And I was like, okay, that's great. I would love that.
And they're focused mainly on stage, not film acting.
Not film acting.
Or television. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. I didn't have any idea, and I work here. That's really amazing. But you said it's a 1-year program. What do you graduate with?
A prerequisite.
Is it like a certificate or is it
it's a
diploma?
Certificate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you use that to transfer?
Yeah. So what I'm hoping to do is I don't want my parents to finance my education after this. So I want to do an OPT for 1 year and earn money and then pay for my own education when I apply to another university.
All right. And do you know where you're going to apply?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
But there are a lot of options.
I'm
like
sure.
UW and everything.
Right.
And I've heard of UW's programs also being really good.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure it's really great. Okay, interesting. As far as OPT goes, normally you do OPT in the field that you've studied. So you have been a drama major. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of OPT are you looking at maybe doing?
So I don't know. Right now, I think that I want to go to maybe like a Fifth Avenue Theater or something and help out. And I have a little bit of experience with stage managing back in India.
Great.
So I could do that, or I could do ticketing, which I have done. I could do acting if I get a chance. But then the audition process is going to be long and lengthy.
Right. I don't know. You'd mentioned both New York and Seattle, which is interesting to me. Are there many paid acting jobs for the stage in Seattle?
Yeah.
There are.
There are.
I had no idea. Interesting. And you're plugged into that community?
Yeah. So I had actually gone to the Seattle Rep. So this was last year when we were performing a play at Erickson Theater, and I wanted to promote the play at Seattle Rep. So I went and I spoke to the manager and I told her that, oh, look, I'm a theater major and, I want to get into this whole community. I want to promote my play in some way. And she was like, awesome, just email us. I'll see what I can do about your play. And then she actually got me into this email newsletter thing, which talks about a theater night, a theater cast night that happens once in 2 months. So where future actors get to meet directors and casting agents and stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never gone to one of those yet, but then I'm just happy to be part of the group.
Right. Do you know when it's coming?
Not yet. So they haven't scheduled anything yet because they're having a play. The play's going on right now.
Which play, do you know?
The skin between your teeth, or something like
Don't
that.
know.
The skin of your teeth.
Skin of your teeth.
Yeah.
Sounds like a comedy, maybe.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Cool. And you're going to go? You haven't seen it yet?
I am going tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Wow.
Yeah. My teacher's performing in it. So she's like, oh, you have to come. I was like,
yes,
all
I
right.
do. Okay. Wow, that's really cool. So when you do the prerequisites, are you just doing drama classes, or are you also having to do like English, like, I don't know, all the things normally people have to do? They have to take sciences. They have to take social sciences. Do you have to do any of that stuff?
Not
Do you have to
really.
take math? No, you just...
So it's like completely up to me.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, but then there's like only 2 courses that are compulsory, which is like Drama 101 and Drama 121, 122, and 123.
Okay. And other than that, you can pick and choose.
Whatever I want, yeah.
And so what are some of the options?
So I have music, so that is one thing I took in the first quarter, and it was a really nice class. So I was in Music 110, and it was an in-person class, which is another thing I was happy about.
Right.
And we got like these instruments that we could play every class. So it's like our teacher would get in instruments every day. He would get like 3-4 instruments, and then he would pass them around the class, and we get to play it, and then sometimes we get to sing, sometimes we get to dance. It's really fun.
That sounds pretty fun.
It is.
That doesn't sound like school, though. That sounds like
No.
you're just messing around.
Yeah, but we get graded for it.
You got a grade for it. Well, okay, so music. What about like stage management classes?
I
or
have a technical
lighting?
theater class right
You
now.
do have a technical theater.
Yeah, it's a little more difficult than I expected, but I have it right now.
So what does that class cover? Is it like lighting? Is it, okay.
Everything. Lighting, costumes, sound,
Okay.
everything.
So all the technical aspects.
Yeah.
And what about the business of theater? Is
I
there any
don't
business of
think
theater
there's
classes?
a class
No?
like that.
Production class?
There is a play class, which happens every spring.
Okay.
So in that, you speak to Shelley and you talk about what position you want to be at. And then accordingly, she gives you that position if she thinks you're capable for it. And then you handle that role entirely. So this last play, I was in charge of marketing.
Okay.
And I was also in charge of the lobby decoration, and I was also acting. So
Right.
I knew my lines,
a
so I
lot.
could relax.
Yeah.
And when it came to the lobby decorations, I was on top of it. We had like this little string where we put all the pictures of the cast members.
Oh, cool.
And then we also had an Instagram group, an Instagram
We'll see the
page.
social presence.
Yeah. And then we used to upload videos like every day, and we actually sold double the amount of tickets that we sold last time.
Well, that's really amazing.
Yeah.
And that show ran for how long?
2 weeks, but it was like 3 days on the first week, 3 days on the second week.
Okay. Well, it's when you work hard to put together a show like that, and then to only have six performances, it's like it's over already.
I know. That's exactly what we felt. We were like, oh my God, I can't believe it's over already.
Because you put a lot of time. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are as far as like sets and costumes and all that, but that's a lot of work.
I know. So we were actually hoping it goes on longer, but then many of the students had prior commitments and they had to go out of town.
Sure.
And then they had classes and then they had finals week.
Right.
So we had to take all of that into consideration.
I get it. So you've done 2 quarters. Yeah. So if it's only a year program, you really only have 1 more quarter, or do you have 2?
I took a vacation quarter.
Yeah. Okay.
So I came here in winter. I did the drama 101 class, drama 121, and music.
Okay, so let's go back to that piece. So people that are listening, what's the difference between drama 101 and drama 121?
So drama 101 is what I would recommend if you're just getting into drama. And because it really instills all the basics in your mind about how theater started, and it gives you a taste of everything. Okay. So you get a chance to be a playwright, you get to read and watch a lot of plays, and you understand how the actors work. You get to watch productions and then, see what actually happens on stage. So that class is like a perfect class to start with.
Cool.
And then going on to drama 121, which is focused on acting. So,
just acting?
Yeah,
like
just acting.
Technique?
Technique.
Okay.
So it's like you go there and we play like a lot of games that just builds character for us, and like a lot of improv games so we can like think on our feet. And so while we're on stage, there's like a lot to think about. So we have to think about, where to stand, the light should come on us, are we wearing the right thing, are we talking to the right person? So we play games that make our minds active to be able to do everything.
Cool. And then what comes after 121?
122.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And is it just a continuation of acting?
It is a continuation,
okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And we have in every 121, 122, and 123 class, we have to do 3 scenes. And in the beginning, you start with like a very basic scene, maybe something from a movie or, something from a very easy play. And as you progress, the level gets harder. So this time I'm in drama 123 right now, and I had to do a play by a scene by Oliver Wilde.
Yeah.
And it was from The Importance of Being Earnest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and the dialogues are like really long.
Really
so you have
long.
to really get that into your head.
So do you, so for your exams, are you on a stage doing these things? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Our
They're not
class is a
videotaped
stage.
or anything. Wow,
Yeah.
That's really great. And where are the classes?
Erickson Theater.
Oh, they are in the Erickson Theater.
Yeah.
Very cool. If you don't know, if you haven't been on our campus yet, we have the Science and Math building, then we have the big building, but then we have Broadway and the Erickson Theater. So check out those buildings. They're really nice. They're really cool.
They really are.
Yeah.
And there's just so much history going about them. And I really want to get into the details of the history. So I'm planning on meeting Daryl Jamieson soon. And I want to talk to him about, what happened and where did this building start? Why is it called Broadway Performance Hall?
Sure. Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to back up a little bit more. So you decided you were coming to the States.
Yes.
You got your acceptance to Seattle colleges, and then you got to get a visa before you can come. What was that process like from the time you got your I-20? How long did it take before you were able to do your visa interview?
Okay, so this is a little bit of a unbelievable story because the most amount of people I tell about this, and they're just like, I don't believe you did it in such a short time. So I applied to Seattle Central around, I think, September of last year.
Okay.
And I got my acceptance in September.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so that means I have to go soon. Actually, no, I think I got my acceptance in November. I applied September end, and I got my acceptance in November.
Okay.
No, in October.
It's a pretty fast. It's usually 3 to 5 business days. So.
Yeah. So I applied like the end of September. So I got it in the beginning of October.
Right, in October, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So then I had to leave in December because orientation week was like the 2nd of Jan onwards.
Right.
So I was like, okay, so I have to be in the States by then. And then I looked around, I applied. So just before, when I got my I-20, I applied for the visa, the DS-160 form that we have to fill out. And then I started looking for a slot, and I couldn't find a slot before the 12th of January.
When you say you were looking for a slot, you were looking at all the different consulates around India?
In India, yeah.
So you
we
go
have
to
like
Mumbai
4.
or Calcutta?
I think we have only 4.
Okay.
And I couldn't find a single slot. And I was like, oh my God, now what am I going to do? So it was like, I would go on that site whenever I had any free time. And I got a slot really quickly. I got a slot, I think, in the first week of November.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was really surprising
That's
to me
really
as well.
fast.
Yeah, because I would just go on there whenever I had time, because in case somebody cancels,
Sure.
you never know.
In which city did you get it?
The first one I got in Mumbai, which was right next to me, so it was perfect. And then the second one I got in Kolkata.
What do you mean the second one? Why did you...
We have 2. So we have the first one, which is a biometrics appointment, and the second one, which is like an interview.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, so you went to Mumbai, did your biometrics.
Yeah.
That's pretty cut and dry.
Very easy, yeah.
And then you go to Calcutta.
Yeah, so that happened so I first got the Mumbai slot and the biometrics were done. But then I couldn't find the second slot, so I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, what if I get one now, one next year? It doesn't make sense. And then, I just kept trying my luck, and it happened. And I got a slot, I think, on the 15th or 17th, something like in 15 days.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and then, I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to do this. And my family actually was absolutely against me coming to the States in such a short period of time. They were like, we want you to be well prepared. And I was also the first person in my family to leave. So,
India?
Yeah, to study.
Okay, to study. Okay.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, I don't want you to go right now, and can you just stay for a bit and just be prepared? And I was like, okay. And my cousin sister is actually at Columbia University right now. So I was hoping that she'd go first so she gets the brunt of all this and I just get like a smooth sailing. But then she decided to defer her admission by a year. So then I was like, oh God.
It's all you now.
It's all me now. And I was also, not to brag, but kind of the family favorite.
Oh,
so they were
boy.
extra possessive.
There you go.
So I was like, okay, I really have to go. And they're like, no, just take your time with it. Just relax. And they were like, it's not going to happen in 3 months. And I was like, I know it will. They were like, it will not. And I was like, fine, let me prove it to you. That was the attitude I had throughout it.
Yeah.
And then I went there. I got my appointment done. I feel like I was overly prepared for the appointment because they didn't even ask me too many questions.
How long did it last?
I think like 3 minutes.
Oh, that's really fast. And so what did they ask you?
They just asked me my name, the name of my college when my program is starting, how many years my program is, and that's about it. Do I have my I-20? And I was like, yeah, I do. Take it.
That was it?
That was it.
See, yeah, I just don't understand how these I've heard so many visa stories now that it's like, it doesn't make sense to me.
It is very weird because I was actually really scared for my appointment.
Right.
So this friend of mine had gone to the consulate and the person there told her that, okay, your visa is approved. You'll get back in a week. And she was like, okay, awesome. And then she was just packing and getting ready to go. She booked her tickets. And 1 week later, the passport came back, but without a visa. And they told her that there was something wrong in her documents. And then she was like, okay. And then she had to reapply, cancel her ticket.
Oh, she had to reapply.
Yeah, because she had already accepted it. And they were like, we can't do anything now.
Right. That's such frustration.
I know.
Is she here now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Is she
Seattle
at
University.
Oh, okay, Seattle. Oh, just up the street.
Yeah.
Wow. So why did she go to Seattle University instead of Seattle College?
She's doing her master's.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Wow. So do you guys hang out?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Wow. All right. So you got your visa pretty easily, and then how many days after you got the visa did you have before you had to leave? You had a little bit of time, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I got my visa mid of November, and I had to. I wanted to come here on Christmas. So I was like, I want to see Christmas in the States.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of quiet during Christmas, though. Like People are doing family stuff.
I know, but I like the lights.
Oh, sure. So you got to see that?
Yeah, I got to see that.
Cool.
So I flew from India on Christmas, and I landed here on Christmas.
Wow. Going that direction, yeah. Probably.
Yeah, so I was really happy. I was like, oh my God.
Did you fly west then? Did you go through Doha?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just really excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm going for Christmas.
That is pretty cool. But when you go to the airport on the 25th, I mean, it's got to be super quiet, right?
It was very quiet.
Yeah.
There was like not a soul around. And the worst part is they kind of misplaced my luggage.
Oh,
and I had nobody to contact about it. And when I found someone, they were like, oh, we knew it was misplaced. And I was like, well, you should tell me because I didn't know it was misplaced.
Like misplaced meaning it's still in Doha? Or
yeah.
Wow. So they lost your luggage
They lost my luggage temporarily. They're like, we found it though. Like, it's with us. We just can't send it for a while. And I was like, but I need the stuff. I need my jacket.
My toothbrush.
Yeah, I actually needed my toothbrush. That's what was in it.
Well, you can always buy another toothbrush. But yeah.
And then,
so how long before you got your bags?
I think a week.
Oh, geez, that's a long time.
I know.
Oh, my gosh. And what about housing then? Because you show up.
Yeah.
Did you have a place to go?
I did.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm very organized with this sort of thing. So
Cool.
I had like this little checklist in my head. And I was also following the checklist on the site, the pre-arrival checklist.
Yes, pre-arrival checklist.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's very useful.
It's super useful. And we really want you to read it and do it.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Because it was really useful. I had my housing done. I had my roommates found. I had a little trouble with roommates because I couldn't find one. And then eventually I found one, but the girl I found wanted to stay with like a bunch of people. She didn't want to stay with one person. She wanted like a 2-bed, 2-bath and share it with 4 people.
That would bring the cost of rent down quite a bit for sure.
Yeah. But then we couldn't find 2 more people. And then she's like, you know what, I'm just going to stay with family. And I was like,
oh, well, thanks.
Okay.
Now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So you found another roommate?
Eventually, yes.
Okay, cool. And you live near
Yeah.
Capitol Hill or in Capitol Hill?
In Capitol Hill.
Oh, that's great.
Right opposite of Seattle University.
So, that's a great location.
Yeah.
When you're signing a lease from afar, how does
It's
that
all
work?
digital.
Oh, it's all digital.
Yeah, now everything's digital. Even when I was in Seattle to renew my lease,
Oh, you had
I
to
had
do
to do it digitally. And I was like, why can't I just go down to the office and
Sign
sign
it,
it? They're
yeah.
like, no, we only do digital. And I'm like, okay.
It's ridiculous. Well, that's great that you were able to find an apartment. Can I ask, is it reasonably priced?
Very much.
Nice. I know because, Seattle has a reputation of being really expensive,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of really expensive places out there. But I always tell students that are thinking of coming here, I go, just look around, do your research.
Yeah, just do research. That's the only thing. Like, you just have to go in depth and you find it.
So how did you find your roommate?
So, I first started looking for houses, and I was like, let me find a good house, and even if I live alone, it's okay. And then eventually I can find someone.
Sure.
So I first found this apartment called Rihanna Apartments, and they were quite reasonable. They were like, I think $1,600 for a studio. And I was like, okay, that's not bad. And I can share a studio with someone. And the studio was like huge. And it has like a walk-in closet and a spacious bathroom. And like it has a built-in dryer and washer unit. So I was like, I got everything I need.
It's a big enough studio for 2 people?
Yes.
Wow, that's really amazing.
I know. It was very surprising to me as well. Because
Yeah.
I told my friend, so the roommate I'm currently with, she had already come to the States. So she had come in the fall of last year.
Okay.
So she was having trouble with her roommate. So she said that I really want to move out of here. I cannot deal with these people anymore. So I was like, how about we move in together? And then she was like, let's do it. And then she came to Rihanna. I found the place. I sent it to her. And she's like, I'll go check it out. And then she came there and she saw the whole apartment, sent me videos. And she was like, it's amazing. There's a lot of space. And we have had enough space that now we have 2 beds, 1 couch, a study table, and the whole kitchen area, and a walk-in closet.
How do you deal with privacy then, if it's a studio?
It's like we have a little,
just a little divider?
curtain separator thingy.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Works.
Yeah, it works very well.
Wow. And then when you're done, you're talking about transferring. Will you just try to find something in this that's close because you want to stay with your roommate?
Yeah, I think so. Because I will still have 1 year of OPT, and she would
true.
have 3 years of OPT.
Yeah.
So
she's a science major.
yeah, and masters.
That's right. Yeah.
So she'll first finish her OPT, and then I will finish my OPT meanwhile, and she will probably continue staying in the apartment if I decide to go to another city for continuing my education.
Right. So what's the prospects? I'm just curious. Is there actors that are on stage in India that make a living that way? I mean,
No, not at all.
Not really. Okay.
So the only theater on stage that I have seen is abroad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to go to France or America or UK or something.
There are like dance performances and stuff that happen in India on stages,
Sure.
but nothing related to theater.
Why is that? Is it just cultural?
I feel like it's because of Bollywood, and Bollywood is really prominent in India.
Sure.
So when you think acting, you just think Bollywood.
Right.
So even when I told people that I'm a drama major, they're like, okay, why don't you just join Bollywood? And I'm like, well, I don't want to do film acting. I want to do stage acting.
Do you think it'll change in time? Do you think theater will become more... Well, it's a little surprising, first of all. I mean, we have a big Hollywood scene, but we also have a vibrant theater community. So the two can coexist. Do you think younger people will be more open to theater, or do you think people are just, I'm going to watch films on my phone?
I think that's how it's going right now.
Right, that's too bad.
I know, but I don't know. I feel like theater is just so beautiful because it's just right in front of your eyes. It's just happening here now.
Right.
Instead of you just watching something that was recorded like 5 years ago.
And anything can happen.
Exactly. And it's like, it does take a lot of time. Like, I understand that, recording a movie or shooting something takes a while.
Right.
But so does theater. You have to practice for like months to get it perfect.
Right.
Especially if it's like a musical, which is what I really love. Like, especially the Fifth Ave performances. Because I'm like, okay, so they're singing on stage. They're dancing on stage. They're dancing and singing on stage and acting. Wow.
So what about like traveling road shows? In the U.S. we have like Miss Saigon will come to Portland, Oregon or something, and it'll be those productions are crazy.
Yeah.
You got not have anything like that in the big cities of
Not really.
India?
There are like a few, but they're like more in the vernacular languages.
Ah, gotcha. Interesting.
And the problem with me was that I was in Pune and I didn't know Marathi, which is like the most prominent language in Maharashtra. And all the theater performances were in Marathi. So even if I wanted to get into that line, I needed to know the language, which I did not.
Gotcha.
And it was very hard to pick up on.
Was it?
It was.
All right. Oh, bummer. Wow, that's amazing. So let's kind of get off of the, because I could talk this stuff all day, but like, what do you do for fun in Seattle other than?
Oh, so much.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it's surprising how much happens on a student budget.
You can do quite a bit in Seattle. I mean, especially if you're into the outdoors. I mean, there's just about anything for...
I'm more of an indoors person.
Oh, okay.
But the Regal Cinemas in downtown, they have like this monthly pass.
Yes.
So you pay $20 for, and you can watch unlimited movies, and you get 10% off at concessions.
Sure. And AMC, for the... I love Regal, but AMC's out there, and they have a similar kind of a program where you pay a monthly fee. And
yeah, so that was really cool. And then there is...
and by the way, Tuesdays are the cheap nights at the movie theaters, so that's another way to save money.
And there is also like a Mystery Monday thing that happens at Regals. No, Mystery Monday things that happens on Mondays. And there is a discounted movie theater thing that happens on Tuesdays where you get like movie tickets for $7.
Yes.
So that was also quite good.
That's great.
Yeah. And then there's like this place near Chase Bank that has an axe throwing arena, which is also really fun.
That is really fun.
Yeah. And then there's this gaming zone, which was quite reasonable as well. And I watch a lot of plays. So what is a ticket for a play in Seattle run? It depends. So I think it starts at like $16.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. So Seattle Rep has like a student ticket.
They must have a student, right?
Yeah, and that is at $16.
That's great.
And then I think Fifth Ave has on the day of the show, you have to go there like I think 2 hours before the performance. and then you get like discounted tickets.
Oh, that's worth it.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's a nice area of town. I like that area. So.
Yeah.
Really cool. All right, well, we've talked about housing. We've talked about all sorts of stuff. I'm curious about your work, though. A lot of students that talk to me on the road, they're interested in getting jobs because they want to help pay their way for school. You got a great job working for international programs.
2 jobs, actually.
Oh, what's your other job?
Collegian. I write articles for the Seattle Collegian.
That's right. Yeah. Tell us about that. Can you tell me how it works?
So I actually joined the Seattle Collegian spring of 2024. And I just went up to them and I was like, okay, so I have had experience in marketing, but I have never had experience in writing articles as a journalist. So even like I think the first few articles that I had written were very marketing-like and not very journalistic. And they actually told me, do you need to work on that a little bit? So I started working more and more on my writing, and I was like, I really want to improve this. And then they were hiring in the beginning of fall. And they were like, we have permanent positions available, so if you're interested, you can try out. And I was like, awesome, that's amazing. And I tried, and I was like, this is why I want to be a part of the Collegian. I really like the idea of writing, and I have really worked on it. I've worked really hard. So they're like, okay, that's awesome. So I joined with the Collegian as a permanent worker.
And do you get paid by the hour, or do you get paid by the article?
The hour.
By the hour?
Yeah.
So is there an office you actually go to?
There is, on the 4th floor.
On the 4th floor.
Yeah.
How many hours a week do you work for them?
5.
Oh, okay. So it's not a huge commitment.
Not much.
And then for IP, for
15.
15 hours?
Like 14.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you get to answer a lot of questions for students as they come through the door. What's the number one question you hear the most, other than where's the bathroom?
I surprisingly don't hear that much.
What? Oh, that's
really? Yeah.
Everyone knows, I guess. Yeah.
I think mainly with like SCD Global.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I understand because it is a little complicated to figure out where it is.
Right.
And sometimes it doesn't work on the regular browser, so you have to go to a private window and go incognito and then figure it out.
Gotcha. There you go.
So that is a little annoying, and that is like the most difficult to figure out for students. And then another common mistake they do is that they write their full Seattle College's email ID in the little bar there, when they're actually supposed to write how much they do for the Wi-Fi password. So for me, it's like my name dot my surname at seattlecolleges.edu.
Right.
But when I go to SCD Global, I just have to write my name dot my surname and then the password, which is again complicated.
Yeah.
Because you have to have like 16 characters, and I have a hard time remembering mine. So
you're getting so old, it's hard to remember things.
I know.
That's great. Well, that's really great. And you get that job. How long did it take for you to get your Social Security card?
I think so I actually went during the holidays, the 2-week break that we had. So I think I applied for my Social Securities. I think I don't remember when. Okay, I really don't remember, but
it didn't seem super long.
It wasn't long at all. I just applied and I scheduled an appointment and I got it within a week.
Oh.
And then my Social Security card came to me in 1.5 weeks.
Oh, that's really fast.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a job on campus, you can do that totally, and then make sure you apply to get a Social Security card. And if they have questions, of course, they can come to the International Programs Office.
Anytime.
People will know how to do the process.
Yeah.
Well, really good. Oh, do you hear that? It's trivia time. Yay. Dun, dun, dun. So this is where we ask you 5 questions. Let's see how you do. If you get them all right, you're on our Wall of Fame. And if you don't, well, you're going to leave crying. So.
Okay.
All right, here we go. No pressure. Question number 1. Each campus has a mascot. What is the mascot for our North Seattle campus?
Frogs.
Yes! What kind of frog?
Green?
Oh, it's a tree frog. But
okay,
yes,
green.
All right, we're going to give that to you. Nice job. Number 2. If a student wants to maintain a full schedule and keep their visa in good standing, how many hours do they need to do?
I know they have to do 12 credits. They have to do 7 of those credits in person.
In person, that's right. Great. Good job. All right, question number 3. Seattle is surrounded by 3 national parks. Can you name one of the national parks?
Um, Puyallup National Park?
No.
Uh,
There's a big mountain out there towards Puyallup, though, that is a national park. On a nice day, it's just a huge mountain.
I know which one it is. I have seen it, but I've forgotten the name.
So that's Mount Rainier.
Yes.
Mount Rainier National Park.
Yes.
And then if you go off to the west, we have the Olympic National Park. So when you go down by the water, you can see it across there. And then to the north, we have the North Cascades National Park. So.
Wow.
I know, it's a tough one. Okay, next question. We have a country to the south called Mexico, but we also have a country to the north. What's the name of that country?
I suck at geography. I really do not know.
It's bigger than India, but not by population. Starts with a C.
Canada.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
Canada.
Yeah. Right.
Very good.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Got you. Maybe the directions got you. So next and final question. What was the last movie you saw at the theater?
It is called The Substance.
Oh, how was it?
Bad. I didn't like it. I really did not like it.
I don't know anything about this movie.
Well, the concept is amazing because it's a story of how this person finds this drug that makes them younger. And there's like this whole twist. I don't want to reveal everything, but this drug makes them younger. But what I didn't like are the amount of explicit scenes that were in it. And I was like, that was really not called for.
It didn't move the story along.
Not
it was just
at
kind
all.
of.
It was just there. And I was like, that was really not necessary.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was just really, I don't know. I was like, you could have made this story so much better. And you could have made it age appropriate. And then I do agree they said above 21, but then I didn't expect it to be so much.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So.
Is it obviously rated R?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know this movie. Is it fairly new?
Very new.
Okay. Who's in it? Anybody?
I don't really know their names.
All right. Well, just for fun, who's your favorite American actor? Male
I think
or female?
Chris Evans.
Oh, all right. Yeah. He's a pretty
Yeah.
popular guy. Not my favorite. But yeah, it's cool.
Or Zendaya.
Oh, yeah, she's very popular right now.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Champions?
Not yet.
Oh, it's worth watching. It's has not been my favorite movie of the year, but for sure. But it's worth watching. It's good.
I'll watch that then.
No, my favorite movie probably this year is Ezra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really.
What is
in
it
my
about?
opinion, the acting is solid. The story moves along well.
That's
It's
good.
written great. It's very
The whole
moving
package.
emotionally. Yeah, it's really a good movie. It's not in the theaters anymore at this point now.
Okay.
But you can definitely catch it on one of the streaming
Yeah,
channels.
it'll come
or
up
whatever.
soon.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I highly recommend it. And then on the airplane, I just saw a movie called what was it called? And Michael Caine and Glenda Jackson. Oh my God, I can't remember the name.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, it was very obscure, but it was an amazing movie. It was called Sorry guys, I can't remember. Too much pressure. But yeah, I'm a big movie watcher, so we'll have to
That's
talk
good.
movies. Do you watch the Academy Awards? Is that of interest to you?
No, not really.
Okay, cool.
I watch a lot of Bollywood movies.
Yeah.
A lot
I know
too
we even
much.
have some in the theaters here. Like I've seen them
Yeah.
at Regal, has them every once in a
Yeah.
while. Well, we have a very large Indian population here
Makes
in the
sense.
area, so you must hear your language when you're walking around the street sometimes.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
not that often. Like at least not in Capitol Hill as much.
Right. Bellevue,
Bellevue a lot.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of Indian people over here. And not just Indians, though. Anybody from South Asia, really.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people.
quite a few people, yeah.
Cool. So you feel like it's home.
Pretty much, yeah.
Have you found really good Indian food in a
Not really.
restaurant?
No.
No?
No. Like it's not up to the mark I'm used to.
Well, I don't have the same criteria that you do, so I'm a pretty whatever they put in front of me.
Yeah, like I
eat,
needed
so.
to be a little spicier.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I mean, I love spicy food.
yeah,
I think
buttery.
I told you that my first roommate in China was from India.
Oh, yes, you told me about
And so
that.
his goal was to make me cry. So he would make the food so spicy.
I've got you something else that will make you cry. So
Okay.
good luck.
Cool, thanks. All right, final question. You've been here now. You've gone through the process. You've been in the U.S. for a little while. If you were going to give some advice to some of the students back in India that are thinking about coming to the U.S., maybe they're thinking of community colleges or Seattle College, what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, basically, just don't overthink it. Because when you start thinking too much, that's when you start looking into a lot of things that may not even be the case.
Right.
Like this friend of mine was worried about what if she doesn't get good enough grades and then they put her on academic probation. And I was like, well, get in first and then worry.
Then worry about it, yeah.
So it was a little stupid to me that she was worrying about things that hadn't even happened yet.
Right.
So I feel like that's where we should try to control it. Where be like, okay, relax. Let me think about it. Let me get in. Like, deal with one thing at a time is what I would say.
That's good advice. That's really good advice. Cool. And then I give the opportunity to speak in your first language, your native birth language. Some
Anything
people have
you want
never
me to
heard.
say?
No, you can say whatever you like, really. Just keep it to like 15, 20 seconds. And what language will you be speaking today?
Tamil.
Tamil. All right, here you go, guys. If you've never heard this language, here's your big opportunity.
Vanakkam, என் பேர் Vrinda. நான் Seattle Central drama student படிக்கிறேன். And உங்களுக்கும் இந்த காலேஜில் வரணும்னா ப்ளீஸ் அப்ளை பண்ணுங்க. ரொம்ப நல்ல காலேஜ், ரொம்ப நல்ல டீச்சர்ஸ் and faculty ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும்.
Nice. Well, thanks so much for your time. I feel like we could cover here another 2 hours worth of material easy.
I know.
But yeah, thanks for coming. Good luck with the drama stuff. And
Thank
we'll
you.
see you maybe down the road when you get your next degree. We'll do an alumni episode.
For sure.
And then your big first stage production as a professional
Yeah.
actress. Well,
That'll be fun.
definitely have to do something there. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Conversations With is painstakingly crafted for you by the Seattle College's International Programs Department and supported by the lovely folks here on our campus. This show is produced and edited by me, Evan Franulovich. We welcome your emails and questions about coming to Seattle Colleges. Please reach out to us via our website or just give us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, as this helps others discover the show. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube at Seattle Colleges INTL. That's Seattle Colleges INTL. And be sure to check out all of the shows here on Conversations With. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.